Okay, so let's walk through that example. When we hop into main, we're going to create an array called nums, and it will contain the elements 2, -3, 10, -1, and 7. And the indexes of those elements will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the next statement is executed, which creates a variable called length. And we're going to run a function called len, and we're going to pass it the nums array. And what len does is it counts up the number of elements in the array and returns that count. So there are 5 elements in this array. So when len returns, we'll store that value into length. So length is going to hold the number 5. And now we're ready to do our loop. So when we loop, we need to keep track of the index because we want to iterate through all elements in the array. So for index in range length means create a variable called index. And I'm going to create it like this because it will be changing after each iteration. And then the range is a function call that is past the length, and length is 5, and what range will return is a list of 5 values, 0 through 4. So this is what range will return. And those values happen to be the same indexes of our array. And that's going to come in pretty handy. Each iteration, the array will take a value from that list generated and it will put it into index. And then when it hops into the body of the loop, it's going to print the contents of index, which is 0. And then it's going to print the contents of the nums array at position index. So index has 0. And so if I go up to position 0 in the nums array and I print the contents, it's going to print 2. And then I go back up and I'm going to iterate through this entire list of numbers that was generated. So the next number would be 1. And so 1 would get placed into index. And then I'll hop into the body. I'll print the contents of index, which is 1. And then I'm going to print the contents of the array nums at position index. Well, index has a 1, so I'm going to go up to the array, look at position 1, and the element is -3. So I'll print the -3. And this continues to loop until we've processed all of the values in that list that was generated by the range function.